Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
In my opinion, that is treasonous activity, and it needs to be called out.
BC's Premier slams Alberta separatists for meeting with U.S. government officials and asking for financial help. Plus,
giving police the authority to lay charges will mean more arrests.
A Surrey mayoral candidate wants police to have more powers to crack down on the wave of extortion violence as provincial politicians push for federal changes. And
we want to make sure that we work on public safety, affordability. Public safety is a big focus.
Less on swagger, more on security. Vancouver's mayor moves away from Bitcoin and fights with the park board as local elections inch closer.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. Premier David Eby is slamming the actions of a group of Alberta separatists who met with U.S. government officials about the prospect of leaving Canada. As Katie DeRosa reports, Alberta's premier says a new pipeline to the BC coast would help mend fences with Ottawa.
To go to a foreign country and to ask for assistance in breaking up Canada, there's an old-fashioned word for that, and that word is treason.
Premier David Eby incensed over news that a separatist group called the Alberta Prosperity Project has met with members of Donald Trump's administration about the prospect of leaving Canada. The Prime Minister was more reserved.
We expect the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent poured gasoline on the fire earlier this week.
I think we should let them come down into the U.S., and Alberta is a natural partner.
Trump has repeatedly said Canada should become the 51st state and recently shared a Photoshop image of the United States with Canada, Greenland, Venezuela, and Cuba as part of its territory. Alberta's premier faced criticism last year for meeting Trump at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Danielle Smith says the anger being felt by those who want independence stems from 10 years of a Liberal government under Justin Trudeau.
When you look at the polls, they suggest as many as 30% of Albertans have lost hope. That's about 1 million people, and I'm not going to demonize or marginalize a million of my fellow citizens when they've got legitimate grievances.
The answer to those grievances, Smith says, is showing Albertans that Canada can work. She says that's why she signed an agreement with Carney, paving the way for a pipeline to BC's North Coast. Smith, Eby, and Carney discussed that during a closed-door meeting in Ottawa. Smith admits that Alberta has more work to do consulting with First Nations on the proposed route. She says a pipeline to Kitimat, first proposed by Enbridge through the Northern Gateway project, is a no-go.
Kitimat is not on the table as one of the ports that we're looking at. There's just too many channels that have to be navigated. It's too complex.
David Eby has stressed there is still no private sector proponent for a new pipeline. Danielle Smith says she hopes to have a proposal ready by June. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
Politicians at the federal, provincial, and local levels are all floating ideas to tackle the extortion violence here in the Lower Mainland. As Amelia John explains, the Premier is calling for federal bail reforms, while a Surrey mayoral candidate wants to give police more powers.
Shootings outside Surrey businesses seem to be an almost daily occurrence. City Council has called for a state of emergency to be declared, with one local politician proposing more powers for police.
It's time to allow police to lay charges, something that is happening in almost every province in Canada. Giving police the authority to lay charges will mean more arrests.
Linda Annis wants to see increased road checks, more police access to traffic cameras, and the hiring of hundreds of more officers.
Surrey residents need to see in plain sight that our Surrey Police Service and the RCMP officers have been given the tools, and the technology, and the resources to establish a visible presence that intimidates criminals.
Federal Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangari has announced up to 20 additional RCMP officers will be deployed to Surrey.
So to build on this progress,
it comes as Premier David Eby is in Ottawa, with other provinces also dealing with extortion threats. Eby is urging federal politicians to pass bail reforms under Bill C-14 and another bill on refugee applications, which he says will close legal loopholes.
What we're seeing in Surrey is it's a terror attack in slow motion. And you would never dream of giving refugee status to someone who participated in a terror attack, but that's exactly what's happening under our current system.
Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke has called for a national extortion czar.
And what a czar does essentially is it creates a special dispensation saying that for all intents and purposes, the buck stops with this person.
Police agencies from a number of provinces are expected to gather at RCMP headquarters in Surrey within the next 2 weeks to talk more about what can be done to stop the scourge of violence affecting communities across the country. Amelia John, CBC News, Surrey.
A dog owner in Delta is warning other pet parents to watch out for anything their dogs might pick up on a walk. That's after her pet nearly died of a cocaine overdose. As Caroline Bargood explains, veterinarians say this danger goes well beyond BC.
Sarah Bell is so grateful her dog Nilak is back to his normal self. Just before Christmas, she had taken the 2-year-old husky to a dog park when he grabbed a napkin off the ground and swallowed it. At first, she didn't think much of it.
He has done this a lot, so I kind of figured it was okay. It was, you know, like it's just a napkin, like whatever, fiber, great, woohoo. But about 2/3 of the way into the walk, he started acting funny.
When she got him home, Nilak didn't want to get out of the car, and his head was bobbing around and unsteady. She rushed him to the vet.
I was crying at this point because I was so certain that I was going to have to put him down. And he came to me and he said, "It's cocaine." And I said, "What do you mean it's cocaine?"
It turned out the napkin had been contaminated with cocaine, and Nilak had overdosed on it, but was going to live.
I don't know. I don't want to have to go through it ever again.
That doesn't surprise these friends. They've each had dogs that picked up drugs from public spaces and overdosed on them, but survived.
When we were up in Squamish camping, she found some marijuana and almost died. And thankfully, I was close enough to Squamish. I drove her in, and $3,000 later, and 48 hours at the vet clinic, she survived.
So I asked the vet, like, could this have killed my dog? And he said, yeah, definitely. You take your chances, I guess. The ER vet told me that this happens. He sees it fairly frequently.
Leave it.
The Canadian Veterinary Medical Association doesn't collect data on this, but says it happens across the country.
The Society of BC Veterinarians says vets are seeing more dogs with multiple drugs in their system, likely from ingesting human feces. It says dogs will be greatly affected whether they pick up a cannabis roach off the street or if they get into their owner's prescription meds.
Dogs have way different amounts of receptors in their brains than we do, especially for things like the cannabinoids. So they will get way, way more affected than we will, just off of a very small amount.
Vets say the quicker you can get your dog help, the better the outcome will be. Sarah Bell knows this firsthand. She's never returned to the dog park where Nilak found that napkin and is now very careful where she walks him, even though she knows something like this could happen anywhere. Caroline Bargood, CBC News, Delta.
A local cat sitter and advocate opposed to digging up and building homes on an abandoned pet cemetery in Surrey has now agreed to stop making defamatory claims about that property and its owners, including that human remains were buried there alongside hundreds of deceased beloved animal companions. Liam Britton with the CBC Investigative Unit unearthed this story.
I want to tell you a story about allegedly grave lies, about what allegedly lies in graves. For 40 years, this half-acre saw hundreds of bereaved pet owners lay their companions to rest. But it's been sold to a developer planning to dig it all up and build homes there. And that drew the ire of many, including Kristen Schumacher. She started an online petition against the project and sought legal and political support to stop it. The developers sued her for defamation. Among other things, they alleged Schumacher falsely claimed human bodies were buried here along with the animals, alleging she posted online, quote, "The total disregard for this cemetery and those buried in it, yes, meaning also the supposed humans buried here as well, is a hideous display of a sick mind. In effect, they have desecrated graves that possibly have human remains in them. Is this not the attempt to tamper with human remains?" The owners allege Schumacher hurt their bottom line, and while Schumacher filed a defense citing protections for fair comment and public interest discourse, she later wrote a letter apologizing to those who sued her. Quote, I said things about the property, especially in regards to the presence of human remains based on information I had gathered, but which was not based on solid or reliable evidence or anything that provides proof positive of these propositions. Both sides agreed to a consent order that forbids Schumacher from making defamatory comments, ending the matter. Schumacher declined an interview for this story.
The takeaway is, and should be for everyone, be careful about what you say online because Canadian law protects reputation.
Daniel Reid is a lawyer specializing in defamation matters. He argues advocacy can cross the line when people get their facts wrong, especially over matters close to the heart.
I'm not surprised, given how much people love their pets, that that's a topic that ultimately led to a defamation case because it's something people care passionately about.
There are no rules specifically for pet cemeteries in BC, but read the headstones for Skipper, Sailor, Piggly, Spokey, Dahlia, Sheba, and more, and you can feel the love for cherished pets marked in a way their human families likely believed was as unending as that love, torn apart only by death. Which may explain why emotions ran so high when the love of pets crashed up against another all-powerful force in BC, real estate. Liam Britton, CBC News, Surrey.
Police say one person has died after a train hit them in Fort Langley in the morning. Just before 8 a.m., Langley RCMP responded to reports of a train collision near Glover Road and Billy Brown Road. Mounties say first responders tried to save the victim, but they died at the scene. Drivers were asked to avoid the area as roads were shut down. It is going to cost you a bit more to hit the great outdoors across BC. The province says it is raising prices for multiple campsites in response to high visitorship and increased operating expenses. The province says the changes will apply to 59 high-demand front country parks and 4 backcountry ones. The changes include an average increase of more than $13 per night during the summer season, and those are for the 59 high-demand sites. The parks closest to the city that will see a price hike include Alice Lake, Porto Cove, and Rowley Lake, among others. They will all cost $51 per night. The backcountry camping sites of Garibaldi, Golden Ears, Joffrey Lake, and Mount Assiniboine will also see about a $13 increase. Prices for almost 400 other parks, though, remain unchanged. The changes will also force non-BC residents to pay extra fees to book campgrounds. Persistent rain and warm weather is melting snow on mountains on the lower mainland. On Cypress Mountain, crews have been preparing for warmer temperatures and rain over the next 2 days. It says the recent weather was cold enough to make a protective layer of snowmaking using those snowmaking guns. But one Vancouver ski rental shop manager says the higher temperatures will mean they have to change their staffing.
There's not really much of a need to keep everyone around when it's quieted down quite a bit.
Environment Canada has issued a rainfall warning for Metro Vancouver, with showers forecast into next week. The shower expert, Darius Manabi, here with a first look at the weather. Warning still in place, eh?
So I don't love shower expert.
You know what? Well, just between you and I, we'll take that back.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Yeah, sounds good. Good thing this isn't live. Let's turn to the warning map because we have a few of them in place. You mentioned the rainfall warning, but first let's zoom in on the piece. We have a freezing rain warning. That'll be in place from early tomorrow morning, probably into the afternoon before it comes down. Be on the lookout if you're on the roads. It'll probably be mixed with some snow as well. We have a few flood advisories that came into force yesterday on parts of the coast, including Haida Gwaii, the Sunshine Coast, and Vancouver Island. This extends down to the north shore of Metro Vancouver as well because of these rainfall warnings we have in place. 100 to 140 millimeters of rain for the west coast of Vancouver Island, 50 to 70 millimeters on the east coast from just north of Nanaimo to up around Campbell River, and for the north shore of Metro Vancouver, as well as the city of Vancouver and Burnaby, 60 to 90 millimeters is expected. Lower amounts for other parts of the metro area. Now, this is where we have that heavy rain coming in. There'll be a blast of it tonight, tapering off a little bit from Metro Vancouver into tomorrow morning. We see mostly rain on the mountains and not snow. That heavy rain tapers off a little bit as we get into tomorrow afternoon, and then maybe a brief bout of showers early on Saturday.
Very good. Thank you, precipitation expert.
Thank you.
Coming up, Vancouver's mayor says mea culpa and pivots away from Bitcoin and fighting with the park board as polls show public approval down and an election on the horizon. That story is next. call it less swagger, more security. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim has soft-launched his 2026 re-election campaign with a series of interviews with local media. He spoke with the CBC's Justin McElroy, and it was noteworthy what topics Sim brought up and what topics he seemed to want to turn the page on.
Ken Sim. He's the mayor of Vancouver, he's seeking re-election, and he admits he's not perfect.
I'll be the first one to acknowledge where I could have done a better job and where we've made mistakes.
That was the mayor this week in an interview that he requested with us. There were no announcements he wanted to make and nothing major on council's agenda this month. But Sim and his ABC team are starting to gear up for his re-election bid in October. And so the mayor has done a series of interviews to highlight very specific priorities.
We want to make sure that we work on public safety, affordability. Public safety is a big focus. Affordability is a big focus. Right now, we have to make sure that FIFA is incredibly successful while we also invest in public safety and we also make life more affordable.
So spoiler alert, you're going to hear a lot from the mayor about safety and affordability this year. And he wants to talk about this because he thinks he can make the case. After years of rising numbers, after all, both rental prices and assaults are down. But that doesn't mean Vancouver residents are down with Sim. In a December poll, just 30% of local residents said the city was on the right direction, and just 21% said Sim deserved a second term, which means the mayor also has to make mea culpas.
But I do think leadership isn't about getting everything perfect and right from day one. It's about acknowledging where things didn't work out as well, and pivoting.
Pivoting. It's a specific word choice, and Sim used it 2 other times in our interview. The first came when he talked about his years-long quest to get rid of the Vancouver Park Board, a quest that has now been dropped. Sim says that for the indefinite future, there will be no more lobbying the province and no referendum on getting rid of it. It sounds a little bit, though, like you're backing away from something you spent a couple years saying was really important for the city to do, and that it would save lots of money, and that you looked at how the park board operated, and that you made up your mind that it didn't work for the city, and now it's something that in the future might happen.
Yeah. So, when we talk about leadership style, as an example, and how it evolves, right now, as a leader of this city with our ABC councillors, we look at this every single day. Public safety is a big focus. Affordability is a big focus. I think, we have people in the city of Vancouver that are struggling to put a meal on the table. And while we will still make sure that we have vibrant parks, we really have to pivot and say, look, this is a pressing issue that we have to address. FIFA's coming up in a couple of months.
So no more getting rid of the park board. And there's another thing that he used to talk a lot about.
Becoming a Bitcoin-friendly city.
In late 2024 and early 2025, the mayor went on about a dozen podcasts to talk about how important Bitcoin is. He also said,
I think it's the greatest invention ever in human history.
He hasn't done an interview about Bitcoin in months, shortly after his party lost big in the by-election. So we asked the question, is it still the greatest invention in human history? Is it still a hill you're willing to die on, or have you deprioritized it a bit?
I think it's incredible. It's super important. And right now, public safety, affordability, those are 2 big things that we have to work on.
And why exactly was that?
While we'd love to work on a bunch of things, we really, once again, back to the leadership style that we talked about, you pivot and you listen to the residents of Vancouver and you focus on what they're really asking for right now.
You could call it rebranding, refocusing, or just politics 101. But what it clearly shows is what Sim would like to talk about, and it will be up to voters to either pivot to another mayor or reward that shift with a second term. Justin McElroy, CBC News, Vancouver.
So while the North Shore Mountains have been getting hammered by rain, higher up at Whistler, Blackcomb, some much needed snow, as you can see. Darius will paint us a BC-wide weather picture coming up. In Calgary, Pierre Poilievre's job is at stake at the Conservative Party convention. He's expected to pass the leadership review, but as Kate McKenna explains, quieting questions will take more than just surviving the vote.
As Conservatives kick off their national convention, grassroots members were eager to talk about Pierre Poilievre's leadership.
There's never been anyone better to represent the party.
I think for this party to move forward, we have to continue supporting the leader that is in front of us.
I'm supporting Mr. Poilievre. I think I would be surprised if he gets less than 90%.
Well, hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Calgary.
On Friday, some 2,500 delegates will vote on Poilievre's future. The leadership review was automatically triggered when the Conservatives lost last year's election. Sources say behind the scenes, Poilievre's been meeting privately with delegates to shore up support and making this public appeal.
I'm not giving up. I don't quit. And the people of our party, the welders, the waitresses, the plumbers and police officers, the soldiers and small business people, they're the ones who I'm fighting for.
The last time a Conservative leader faced this kind of review was in 2005, when Stephen Harper had 84% approval, setting up Poilievre for a similar benchmark.
I think they're in good shape. I think they feel like they're in pretty good shape.
Poilievre's former communications director says Friday's stage is a big one. And when Poilievre makes his speech before the vote, he'll be looking to convince all Canadians, not just Conservatives, he's the right choice for Prime Minister.
You're going to see, he's a relentless fighter on issues that affect ordinary Canadians, average Canadians, whether it's, housing costs, crime, cost of living, inflation, food inflation.
This is the room where it's all set to happen. This vote is a make or break situation for a leader in need of a win. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Calgary.
Back to our top story now, the issue of sovereignty, a hot topic at the First Minister's meeting in Ottawa. BC Premier David Eby accusing Alberta separatists of treason for meeting with White House officials. Ashley Burke tells us more about the accusation and the response.
At the Prime Minister's meeting with premiers all about uniting Canada, BC's leader speaking out against what he sees as a betrayal to the country. An Alberta separatist group meeting with Donald Trump's administration.
In my opinion, that is treasonous activity, and it needs to be called out. It needs to be stopped.
The Alberta Prosperity Group has been talking for months about its meetings with Washington. The separatist group is openly seeking a $500 billion line of credit from the U.S. to bankroll a new country if they ever win a referendum.
The people we're meeting with in the United States at a very senior level in the State Department are very clear that Alberta statehood is not on the table. They want a free and independent Alberta.
Now an official with the U.S. State Department confirms talks happened, but says no commitments were made.
I'm talking about crossing the border, soliciting the assistance of a foreign government to break up this country, and I don't think we should stand for it.
It's unacceptable. It's unethical.
Ontario's premier pointing the finger at his counterpart in Alberta to stop it.
This is an opportunity for Premier Smith to stand up and say enough is enough. And either you're with Canada or you're not with Canada.
Premier Smith says she doesn't want to demonize Albertans with grievances that built up under 10 years of Justin Trudeau.
I would expect that the U.S. administration would respect Canadian sovereignty and that they would confine their discussion about Alberta's democratic process to Albertans and to Canadians.
Late last year, the head of Canada's spy agency suggested they'll be watching for any possible foreign meddling in sovereignty referendums. But the Prime Minister wouldn't say if this constitutes foreign interference.
We expect the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty. I'm always clear in my conversation with President Trump to that effect.
Trump recently called Mark Carney governor and last week posted an AI-generated image online of the American flag covering all of North America. Now, this is the closest that Trump has gotten since the fall of last year to publicly reviving his idea that Canada should become the 51st state. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Canadian hockey romance, drama, and hit TV show Heated Rivalry is having a bit of a moment everywhere, even at the First Minister's news conference. Here's Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew bringing it up to underscore unity between provinces and territories.
Well, everybody's working together because we love this country so much. And I love the fact that we come out here at every press conference and there's always, trying to find the divisions and trying to find the things that we're not united on. They want there to be a heated rivalry between Doug Ford and I, but we're on the same team.
I want you to
We're going into the corners together.
I want you to just
Right?
take that
Right for
image.
Team Canada.
The heated rivalry between Doug Ford and Wild Canoe.
And we're on the same team as well, Mr. Prime Minister. So if you want to lace up the skates, we're going up to Churchill next week, and you're more than welcome to join us as we build up this country, the true north, strong and free.
Canada's Coast Guard will soon be conducting security patrols. Legislation now before the Senate seeks more power for the civilian agency, which was absorbed by the Defense Department last year. But does that mean Canada should arm its Coast Guard fleet? Here's Murray Brewster.
We've known since last spring the Coast Guard was being absorbed into the Defense Department. But most of the debate has been fiscal. How adding the agency to the Defense Department's budget affects Canada's NATO spending contribution. Parliament, however, has been occupied with a different question for months now.
What steps will be required and equipment given to the Coast Guard to be able to defend itself while it's conducting these security patrols?
Right now, we're not looking at defending because we're not looking at being in a theater where there'd be confrontation. Right now, we're looking at occupying a space where that can be occupied and where we can collect information and pass it on to our colleagues at DND.
Arming the Coast Guard isn't something Canada has done since the Second World War. Now, the commander of the Navy is weighing in, saying unless there is a war, it's not necessary.
So in a wartime scenario, where we think there's going to be an attack on Canada, I think we take a look at everything and we try and figure out what to defend. But in all of the scenarios we're talking about in crisis and in competition, I don't see any real reason to go through the thing of fundamentally changing the character of the Coast Guard and arming it unless there's a compelling reason to do so.
Some defense experts and the opposition Conservatives have begun to question that, especially given the perceived threats in the Arctic and the military buildup up there. They argue that countries like China and Russia use their Coast Guard ships in a fundamentally different way and point to the number of clashes that have happened in the South China Sea. Canada is the only Arctic country that doesn't have an armed Coast Guard in one form or another. Admiral Topshee says there are ways to quickly beef up the defenses of Coast Guard ships through the addition of containers with specialized equipment, but he doesn't see the need to do so. The Senate is now considering legislation which gives the Coast Guard a bigger mandate for coastal surveillance and intelligence sharing. It could potentially become law later this winter or in the spring. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
This week, the federal government renewed a call for shoppers to buy Canadian. But that may not be so easy. Some packages our marketplace colleagues looked at seemed Canadian on the front, but information on the back revealed not so much. Rosa Marcatelli explains.
We're at the grocery store on a mission to buy Canadian. For many, that means picking products that were made here with Canadian ingredients. But some products only look Canadian.
I have no clue as to what that means.
Bob Bastien was surprised by Habitant French-Canadian pea soup. The front says designed in Canada. The back, product of the USA.
It seems as though Campbell is trying to sell us a lie.
Campbell's, the company behind the soup, says the label is not new. And it tells shoppers the product was created by their Canadian team, adding it's phasing that label out. Dave Lawson spotted something similar. Betty Crocker chocolate chip cookie mix, labeled Canada's #1 selling baking mix brand. Flip it over, product of the U.S.
This is advertising trying to make it look Canadian when in reality it's not.
General Mills, the company behind the cookie mix, says it is Canada's top-selling baking mix brand based on sales. The label isn't new, and it reflects the pride they have being in Canadian kitchens.
Where does all this leave shoppers?
Well, it's tough. The truth is, it's tough.
I think we are seeing some maple washing, whether intentional or not. We are definitely seeing some.
So, are there any government plans to make labels more clear? For weeks, the federal minister responsible denied repeated requests for an interview. So we head to Ottawa for answers.
Minister Michelle, Rosa from Marketplace here. What exactly are you hoping to do?
Into everything that can make life easier for Canadians.
Labels in particular? Not
labels also.
Labels are part of the package. We look forward to talking to you more about it.
In the meantime, experts say look for the words Product of Canada on labels. It guarantees that what you're buying is either mostly or entirely made here with Canadian ingredients. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Toronto.
And for the full investigation, you can watch the Maple Makeover Friday at 8 p.m., 8:30 in Newfoundland on CBC Television, YouTube, and CBC Gem. A look back at the lack of snow during Vancouver's 2010 Winter Olympics and how climate change is altering winter sports in the future. Johanna Wagstaff will join us next.
So I know when I really like a song, if within the first 3 seconds, I'm already vibing to it.
Hey, I'm Rohith Joseph. Vibin' is the new show all about discovering great new songs and fresh artists from across BC and beyond.
It's not one person dictating what good music is, it's the community sharing what good music is.
Stream Vibin' on CBC Listen.
This year has not been stellar, to say the least, for snow on the local mountains, at least so far. But we've seen this before. You may remember when Vancouver hosted the 2010 Winter Olympics. The dearth of snow then led to truckers hauling it in from Manning Park to Cypress Mountain for the freestyle skiing and snowboarding events. Let's take a look back at that story from 16 years ago.
Yeah, a funny phone call. Was Sunday morning around 8, and we're hauling snow. I go, excuse me? Snow, okay.
This is the second day these truckers have brought to Cypress Mountain what warm temperatures keep taking away. The snow is coming from here in Manning Park. The drivers leave home at 6 in the morning to line up and load up. They're hauling it all the way from Allison Pass to the Olympic venues at Cypress Mountain. That's about 250 kilometers away.
People are loving it. People are giving us the looks and whatnot. Everybody's wondering where it's going.
Things are looking better at Cypress as Van Ock scrambles to cover the freestyle skiing course, but warm weather keeps melting snow away.
We'll have a bit of a safety net during the games for areas that get trampled down by spectators, finish areas, and the areas that are in the television camera shots that need nice, clean, white snow.
So how much is this all going to cost? Van Ock won't say, so we tried our own calculations. The truckers say they're making $90 an hour. Each round trip takes about 8.5 hours. With 150 trips planned, that works out to about $114,000 just for the trucks. That doesn't count everyone else moving the snow from the loaders in Manning Park to the helicopters on Cypress Mountain. Van Ock isn't releasing numbers on those yet.
That was a report from our Lisa Johnson ahead of the 2010 Winter Olympics. Now, other Olympics have had their fair share of snow issues as well. In Beijing in 2022, 100% of the snow was artificially created, and the upcoming games in Italy have also struggled with a low snowpack. While those concerns have eased in the past few weeks, the future of winter sports is changing, and quickly. Joining us to talk about the future of snow sports is our senior meteorologist, Johanna Wagstaff. We look at that footage. You and I were both in town during the 2010 Olympics. It doesn't feel like that long ago. I was working, and you were a spectator, right?
Yes, I actually took the 2 weeks off work to enjoy the Olympics. All my tickets that I had won the lottery for in Cyprus canceled. All the qualifying snowboard rounds. Yes.
So what did you do?
I got my friends to do a little trade deal. So I still got to see some Olympics, but I was unable to contribute. So I remember how warm it was. We weren't wearing jackets. It was about, let's say 12 degrees. I think the same temperature as today in Vancouver. That was an anomalous year back then. Not so anomalous back now or today, but really interesting. This is our new normal, and we're going to see winters more like this moving forward. But right now in Vancouver, we are struggling this season. I know I don't have to tell Vancouverites, but it has been a warm and wet season. We are about 50 to 60% below our normal snowpack for the interior, for the coast. The interior, though, doing well. So we're really seeing that interior coast divide spread. But same story in Italy. They were just saved with a couple of big storms, because up until now I've been looking at that Dolomite Green Hill footage, being worried. A couple of snow events have moved in, and they'll be okay for the opening ceremonies, but hit or miss.
So this is one season. It's one Olympic Games. Can you take us through some of the projections for snow in the decades to come?
Yes. So we know the benchmark is really 2050, and we know things are warming in the next 24 years around the world. But specifically for these sort of resorts that start at 600, 700 meters, that's our coastal mountains, we're going to see a 5% increase in precipitation, but that's atmospheric rivers. And that is not coming down as snow, that is coming down as rain. So it's going to be the alpine resorts that we're going to see survive through to mid-century. But as temperatures warm, that rain-snow line is just going to continue to rise. And Dan, snowmaking isn't going to be the silver bullet. You need temperatures around that freezing mark. And when we're 5 degrees and rain in February, that's not going to do it.
And you would need a lot of snow guns. We've heard mention of what's called rotating a venue model for climate stable venues, Whistler being one of them. Is Whistler a stable venue for winter sports going forward?
It's complicated, but yeah, I've heard this term being thrown around as well, and it's really Whistler and Sapporo, Japan, sort of top of the list as climate stable. This climate stable term, 70% of winter snow has to remain stable through the winter. winter. And I think Whistler survives because of its sheer scale. So even though projections to 2050 are that the base of Whistler will be 50% rain, but at the alpine levels, we're a little more secure through 2050. But Dan, if we're going to be this climate stable venue, we have to move all of the finish lines, all of the villages up the mountain to maintain that status. So it's still risky.
It's a lot to think about. Johanna Wagstaff, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
The weather update is brought to you by the BC Cancer Foundation. The future of cancer care can be your legacy. Fuel innovation and life-saving treatments by leaving a gift in your will today.
Darius Madavi here with the BC-wide weather forecast. Out on the street, we see people walking up in downtown Vancouver. Lots of umbrellas, lots of hoodies. It's back.
That's right. It is back, and for the next 24 hours or so, expect heavy precipitation to come in and out here on the coast, especially the south coast. Be on the lookout for that. But then we do have a bit of a dry stretch as we head into the weekend. Very brief one with maybe more to come as we get into next week. Now, still a few warnings in place. Again, we looked at these earlier in the hour, but we have freezing rain advisory up in the Peace region extending over into Alberta, and then some rainfall warnings here on the coast. That's because of that heavy rain that we looked at earlier, but also we're going to see a lot of that precipitation break into the interior tomorrow. It's been a lot more sporadic in the interior this week, but tomorrow it looks a little bit more consistent, at least in the morning, and I guess into the overnight hours tonight. So a fair amount of that coming down as snow tonight as temperatures dip down below zero, even in many of the valley bottoms. But as we get into tomorrow, seeing that transition back into rain for places where it does linger into the morning hours. But here on the coast, definitely where it's focused a little bit more, as well as down south of the border, parts of Washington state also getting a fair amount of precipitation. We see a little bit of break as we get into late Friday and then into Saturday morning. We may see a brief shower come through Saturday morning as we looked at earlier. But in the interior, things look a lot drier for at least the start of the weekend. As we get into Sunday, a little bit may start to break into parts of the central interior or the southeast, maybe moving up into the Peace. But for the most part, the heaviest rain will have been behind us by the time we get into the weekend. But we do have to get through a little bit more of that heavy stuff on the south coast tonight into early tomorrow. Now, this is where we're looking at in terms of precipitation totals. Keep in mind, this is a combination of both rain and snow, but here on the coast, it's really going to be coming down just as rain. Very high precipitation totals on parts of the west coast of the island. And I do think that this model in particular might be understating the amount of precipitation in some parts of Metro Vancouver by a little bit. I think the city of Vancouver may get closer to that 60 millimeter mark by the time we get into the weekend. But this also includes the precipitation that we've already seen today. So that is worth noting. Temperatures remain fairly steady over the next few days, maybe a bit of fluctuation still up in the northeast. But other than that, a few degrees above seasonal seems to be holding pretty consistently. Conditions for tomorrow, we see a lot more cloud in parts of the interior. Sorry, wrong map. A bit more cloud in parts of the interior. And in terms of our 5-day forecast here in Metro Vancouver, Dan, heavy rain ends for the most part tomorrow. And then we may start to see a brief shower on Saturday, but generally dry.
Okay, thanks, Darius.
Thank you.
Health experts around the world are closely watching an outbreak of a deadly virus in India. Officials there say they've contained its 2 cases of the Nipah virus, but a number of the region's airports have heightened security as a precaution. The CBC's Salima Shivji has the latest from Mumbai.
The 2 confirmed cases of Nipah virus are in India's West Bengal state to the east, and health officials here say that those are the only 2 cases of the rare virus to be detected since December. But more than 190 people are in quarantine after having had some sort of contact with the 2 people who were infected with the deadly virus, both of them healthcare workers, according to a local doctor that I spoke with. Now, those in isolation have tested negative for Nipah virus so far, but they are constantly being monitored and screened, since the maximum incubation period for this deadly virus can be as long as 21 days. Indian officials say that the outbreak is contained, and an infectious disease and clinical microbiologist that I spoke with in Kolkata says that's because of early detection and treatment.
So the 2 cases which have been diagnosed were properly taken care from different organ system support, and now one is out of danger and another one is recovering. So you can say mortality is still now nil.
But there is still fear that this could spread, and that is because Nipah virus, which is usually transmitted to humans through animals like pigs or fruit bats, is highly contagious and there is no vaccine. It's also very difficult to diagnose and deadly, a fatality rate of between 40 and 75%, according to the World Health Organization. And that's why we're seeing advanced and enhanced screening in airports across Asia. Pakistan is the latest neighboring country to announce that it is going to be screening for the virus because of what it's seeing here in India. That's along with what we're already seeing, thermal screening, temperature checks, and other measures in airports across Asia, including in countries like Thailand, Indonesia, as well as Singapore, as a precaution because of how deadly this virus can be, and also because there has been basically a small outbreak of Nipah virus every year in Asia since it was first detected in 1999. The last major outbreak here in India was in the southern state of Kerala, where 17 people died and 2 more died in 2023. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mumbai.
You might have grown up on concentrated frozen juice, but if you haven't had it in a while, join the club. Why frozen juice's time is up after this.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox. CBC is a returning partner of the Push International Performing Arts Festival, January 22nd to February 8th. The festival features presentations of groundbreaking contemporary works of theater, dance, music, and multimedia. Tickets at pushfestival.ca. And never miss a special programming series, event, or contest. Subscribe to CBC's e-newsletter and keep connected with us.
Familiar brands of frozen orange juice are being discontinued, a victim of falling sales and changing tastes.
Anise Hedori shows us that even if few people still buy it, many are nostalgic about the ritual of making it and certain special uses.
They say nothing lasts forever, so say goodbye to frozen, canned, concentrated juice. The entire product category being discontinued in this country. Problem, over time, it just lost its appeal.
The older clientele know what it is. The newer clientele just goes, why is it frozen? Why would I buy it?
Minute Maid blend juicy kinds together for a very special taste.
It wasn't always this way. Juice brands were big names. Old South, McCain, Minute Maid. But come 2026, Coca-Cola's Minute Maid is shutting down production for the US and Canada.
It's not just orange juice. Frozen 5 Alive, also dead. But alternatives like Old South or generic store brands are gone too. After investigating, CBC News found that the other main producer of frozen concentrate in Canada discontinued them last year.
In a statement, the company behind most generic brands said demand for frozen from concentrate juice has steadily declined. Many consumers have shifted towards shelf-stable and refrigerated options. And industry watchers say juice is becoming less popular overall.
So if this category is forced to reassess itself and streamline itself for profitability in a market where profitability is a challenge, frozen concentrate is really just the one that is going to get the chop.
When both the market leaders such as Coke and store brands are leaving, it's a strong signal that the product is dying.
And as a product dies, so do some traditions.
Oh, we have to change our slash recipe. We have to figure out something new to use. That's so sad.
Rest in peace. It's been nice having you around.
No less than 17 sun-ripened oranges.
80 years after first hitting freezers, canned frozen juice is, well, canned. Anise Hedori, CBC News, Toronto.
End of an era.
I'm going to miss the frozen lemonade in the summer.
Totally.
Didn't even know I would miss it.
I know, it's tasty. But they are going to keep making the colada mix, right? Right?
Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, YouTube, and our website, cbc.ca/BC.
And we will have your next local news at 11 o'clock, right after the National. Good night.